You're listening to 59.5 Retirement Chat Radio, powered by My Retirement Exit. Now here's your host, Jenny Jones.
Welcome to Retirement Chat Radio. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Edwin. I'm from the Bay Area in San Francisco.
Hello, Edwin from San Francisco Bay Area. Okay, what's the purpose of your call today?
Hi, thanks for taking my call today. So I've been employed close to retirement now. So I need your opinion in regards to, before we started the retirement program at work, they only offered the 401k. So what is your opinion on people converting it to a Roth, and what are the pros and cons? And would you suggest it if someone's close to retirement?
Okay, let's see. Should a person convert over to a Roth or not? That's a good question. I'll start by saying that depends, but let's see how to break this down. I may cover this in greater detail on my Retirement Planning TV, but for the sake of time, I will give you an abbreviated version here. You should see a link to my Retirement Planning TV below in the description. Okay, let me start with my disclaimer. Please do not take my responses as actual advice, as I only speak in hypotheticals. Please always consult with your own personal advisor, as they are the professionals and they're the only ones that know your entire situation. Okay, let's see. To answer your question for a person that came to my office, well, should a person convert over to a Roth IRA or not? Again, like I mentioned earlier, it depends. Well, let's not assume that all the listeners know what a Roth IRA is. Really quick, a Roth is a type of savings option created back in 1998 by a senator of the name William Roth. Okay, he proposed that bill and it was approved. And this option, is slowly making its way over to the 401ks. Around 2006 or so, they started putting those inside or making those as an option inside the 401ks. In short, it's a way for a person to save for retirement, making after-tax contributions towards their retirement plan. It gets a little bit more complex, like withdrawals made within the first 5 years and only taking your cost basis as a tax-free withdrawal until age 59 and a half or so on. So it does get a little bit more complex. Or did I mention this is a good opportunity to click that like and subscribe button and tune into 59.5 Retirement Chat Radio for more upcoming episodes. Did I mention this was tax-free withdrawals until age 59 and a half? Anyway, so I digress. So there's a lot more there, and I highly suggest speaking with your advisor as there may be withdrawal penalties and such, even though it is an after-tax type of retirement savings. So should a person convert over is what the question really is. It's what you're asking. I would tell a person to consider their current tax situation or their current tax status and or the tax status they plan to be in upon retirement. So you can kind of estimate that. Depends on what type of retirement things you're going to use for, some people may have investment property, right? Some people may have 401k, some people may not, right? Some people may want to draw their Social Security and do some other different things. It really depends how your portfolio is set up for when it comes to your withdrawals. It is always advisable to have more than one type of bucket with a tax preference when you withdraw from your distribution years. So let's do this. Let's imagine if you were to have 2 buckets of water over your head upon retirement, right? Just get a visual. And they each had a faucet spout at the bottom of both of the buckets, right? One bucket is labeled traditional or pre-taxed, and the other bucket is named after-tax or Roth. Now, depending on which retirement door you walk through would determine when and what bucket of which faucet that you would turn on at that particular time. And so what I mean by which retirement door, I do have a book coming out on that very, very soon, trying to help people determine what their retirement doors are. But let's say in this case, if you decided to continue to work in your later years, then it might be advantageous to turn on the Roth bucket or turn that spouse on to keep your current tax liability low for ordinary income purposes, right? So when you're starting to drip money out later on and you're still working, you don't want to get hit with the taxes from the traditional IRA. You want to still be able to you want a tax-free stream of revenue coming with you and adding that to your ordinary income to make that liability a lot less, right? So for an example, if you're still working, right? And if you make a decision to work, and I may have covered this in one of my other episodes, if you do decide to continue to work, then your Social Security is taxed, right? So you almost have to apply for Social Security as a last resort. You have no other retirement money coming in or anything like that. Because if you ever go back to work, you want to go back and be a greeter to pick up insurance, or you ever want to work at Starbucks, become a barista or something like that, and you may want to pick up their insurance, then if you go back and you've already drawn Social Security, they're going to tax you heavily. So if you don't decide to go back, then it's okay. But if you do decide to go back, you're still going to be getting taxed on your ordinary income, right? But to have a Roth bucket or a bucket that's already after tax to be able to pull contributions out of that is a way to go. So that's why I said it really depends on what your current setup is and what your current liability is for income tax purposes. There also may be a case if you are in a higher tax bracket, or if the IRS tax brackets change again, as they have every so many years since they created the IRS Code 401, paragraph K, back in 1978. What does all this mean, Jenny? Should I convert or not? It's probably what the caller is saying right now. My question is, that depends on your tax situation. But I would confirm is having two different buckets to draw from is the optimum position to be in when it comes to your distribution years. You want to have options. It's good to have options in retirement because you never know. Taxes change almost every year, every other year. Depends on when the IRS feels they need to pull more money and so on and so forth, right? I did not just call out the IRS, sorry. So as far as dollar for dollar conversion wise, if you do the math, in most cases, it almost breaks even by a few $1,000s. So it really just depends, right? So if you have up until this point saved only a pre-tax side and your taxes permit, then reduce your contribution to one side and start contributing to the after-tax side, or vice versa. You really want two buckets, right? You don't really have to do a conversion more than trying to build another bucket, right? And it really, ideally, you want to have options in your distribution years, as I mentioned earlier. Converting is just choosing when you want to pay Uncle Sam. They're still going to get their money. You can pay them on the front end or you can pay them on the back end, but they're still going to get their money either now or later. And it also depends on your current retirement portfolio, among other things. Most advisors have tools to help with conversion estimation. And I would suggest you contact them to get a better answer if you need further clarification on your particular case. I just think that it's better to have options, but also if you've sounds like from your case, if you build up one side this entire time in retirement and you want to have options later on, just shut that side off and and if you have good income producing mutual funds on that side, then let the mutual funds continue to make dividend payments and repurchase that mutual fund on that side, but now start contributing on the after-tax side, right? And build up the Roth side. So you can have two buckets. That's what I would do. I don't know if I would go into the converting unless I really, really had a strong handle on what my liabilities would be in that particular case, right? So that's good. Again, it's a case by case. As always, seek out a financial professional who knows everything about you before giving you advice. They do this by taking a financial intake firm where they know where all your assets are. This gives them a full picture so that the advice that they provide will be sound. Please like and subscribe not to miss another episode, and look for any descriptions of any links or references that I've made in this segment. Thanks for your call, Edwin. Next caller, how can we help you?